here we are. We're nearing the end of the of 2021, and 2022 will be here in about 5 minutes, and so we need to put our head there. And I think if you could take anything from this call, take this. Next year starts this year. Next year starts this year. Like the thing that I really dislike is the normal kind of business culture of wind down in December and wind up in January, right? And everyone's kind of different. Some people kind of finish their year in December 20, some at 24. And then, some people don't come back to January 3, some people don't come back to January 10, some don't come back to January 17, right? And in different industries and different things. And I'm like, if you've got 2 months that are trashed out of 12, right, you're losing, 1/6 of your productivity. But worse than that is the momentum you lose, right? Because you kind of grind to a halt. And then you've got to get that train out of the station again in January. And for most people, they're not really productive till February, and it could even be mid-February, right, before they're hitting their straps. And I go like, what if it didn't have to be like that? And it doesn't have to be like that. That's what today's training's about. But what if it didn't have to be like that? And what if you could find a way to still enjoy downtime over Christmas, but you didn't lose your momentum? And so that's what this is all about, right? And it's about how to automate that. The cheeky little bit of marketing that I put out was how to scale a business whilst eating turkey. Because the whole premise here is that if you put in a bit of extra work now, between now and the end of the year, then you can sit back, right? Read a book, chill out, go to the beach, eat turkey, eat good food, hang out with your friends, and not have to worry about, am I going to have enough leads in January? Am I going to get enough customers? Am I going to have enough cash flow in January, right? So that's really the premise of this. And we've been doing that with our clients for years, trying to get them to ride through this period of time. But I kind of just want to get it to you broader. But it will mean for some of you that you've got more work between now and when you finish for the year. Because it's another project that you do actually have to go and build, for it to work. And so I'm kind of hashtag sorry, not sorry, but it's a little bit of extra work now, but it's basically a slingshot into 2022. And I don't know, you've probably worked out that I'm hell bent on your success. I am mad about you succeeding and winning in business. That's why I do these every month. And you wanna come out of the blocks as fast as you possibly can next year to make it the best year ever. And if you're not going to hit your straps till February, I promise you it won't be your best year ever. So we could do a few things now that would set us up and automate our break. And I tell you what, the peace of mind you'll have knowing your business is working in the background while you're hanging out with family and swimming at the beach will be phenomenal. Instead of that little voice in there going, I don't really know what January looks like and if we're going to have enough money, So that's really what we're doing here. Hey, sorry to barge in on this video. Hey, listen, if you're enjoying this, then I want to invite you to do 2 things. Firstly, would you subscribe to my channel by hitting the subscribe button and the bell button, and then you'll get the alerts when new episodes are loaded. Secondly, why don't you consider joining my global community of Kingdom entrepreneurs? It's free. Just go and check out kingdombusiness.global. Let's get back to this video. So some of this is going to be proper technical, and I do run the risk of losing you, but it's recorded for a reason, so you can rewatch it. But ultimately, you may not have the ability to execute on everything I'm going to say. You just may not be wired that way. That's not an excuse. You've got to go find people that are. So somebody in your business that can help you, go and outsource it to a firm, a company, an offshore, whatever you need to do, but you can't not do it, right? Even if it's not your skill set, then you have to bring that skill set in-house. So I guess I'm looking at this year, right, and I'm going, no one gets out of this, right? Everybody is included, because you can use what I'm about to show you to develop brand, right, leads, or sales. So some of you guys, you might have the kind of business where you literally just want to get sales over the break. Well, that's awesome. Like you've got an e-com shop or you've got a website where people can buy things or whatever, right? You've got the ability to sell products and deliver them out, right? So that would be some of you, but that wouldn't be the majority of you. Majority of you are not looking to drive sales necessarily over the Christmas break. So some of you that will be, and some of you it won't be. So then the next one is, of course, leads. Wouldn't it be amazing to come back in January, whenever you start, to a whole big bag of warm leads of people that now know, like, and trust you and are pretty committed to giving you some money? That would be an amazing outcome over Christmas. Now, even if you're not set up, right, to go for leads, then every single one of us as a minimum should be taking the time to build branding, taking your messages, right, the things that make you unique, and pushing that message out to brand new people. That's all really branding is in a 2021, 22 setting. And there is so much money to be made just in the concept of moving the needle, doing branding to move the needle a really small amount from they don't know you to they know you. If you can just get thousands more people or hundreds more people to go from they don't know you to they know you, so they haven't bought from you, they haven't inquired, they haven't whatever, filled in a web form, like they just go, all they do is go from they don't know you to they know you, the trickle down effect of that will be more people buy from you. Because the concept of people knowing about you is happening today, right? That, you know, I don't know the numbers for your business, but it would be it would be a ratio that goes like this: 5,000 people know I exist, right? And out of those, 423 have inquired about my services, you know, and out of those 423, like 116 filled out a web form. I had meetings with 83 of them and signed up 36. Like that's already happening today. That's been happening as long as you've been in business. So one of the greatest strategies to getting more 36s, more sales, is just to get more people to know you, and that's just at the very top, to go from they don't know you to they know you. So you can, at the very least, just do an entire period of branding so that come January, more people know who you are. At the very least, that's every single one of us. But we could go for leads if we're super smart, and we could go for sales if that's the way that our business is geared up. So that's basically what I want to cover off, right? So just take 30 seconds now in your notebook, and I want you to decide, what do you need to focus on over this Christmas break? Do you need to focus on just branding, getting your message out, leads, getting actually email addresses and phone numbers, or are you actually going to go for sales? Take 30 seconds, and when you know the answer, put it in the comments for me, please. So we've got branding, we've got sales, we've got brand. Leads and sales, brand, sales. Pardon me. Leads. Awesome. Brand. All right, very good. So now that you know that, that will kind of frame the kind of content that you're going to produce in this model. Branding and sales, leads, all of them, branding, sales, awesome, very good. Right, so I basically want to draw out this model for you of what we can set up so that we can automate and come back to the best year ever. It starts with a new web page, and you can just use the website you've got today, right? You could, as it sits today, you can do that. The only downside to doing that is that we need to make sure that the message we put out in marketing is reflected on a page of your website. So what you can't do is you can't market a message and drive them to the home page of the website, because the first page they get to doesn't necessarily talk about the thing that they just read about in their ad. So the closer we can get those two things, the better. So we want to make sure that the first ad they see is reflected on the page that they get to, right? So the page is, you know, a bigger in-depth version of whatever the message is in the ad, right? So what needs to happen is you probably need to create another page on your website, which, by the way, if you're not a web developer, you shouldn't do it. Ring your web developer and say, do this work for me. So you've got your url.com.au, or if you're in Nigeria, whatever it is in there, NG, or if you're in England, it's .co.uk, or wherever you are, .nz, right? So you've got url.com / whatever you're going to call this page, right? And so you basically create another page of your website. It's all branded. The theme's the same as every other page of the website, but it's blank. And then we're going to do this in 3 stages. The website is actually stage 2 of this model. Stage 1 and stage 3. I'm going to build these out for you so that you can see them. Stage 1, we actually create a Facebook ad. And when I say Facebook, that's interchangeable with an Instagram ad, maybe a LinkedIn ad, a TikTok ad, a Snapchat ad, like social media ad, right? But for 99.63% of us, it's Facebook and Instagram because that's where 99% of the eyes are. So we run this Facebook ad. Now this is to a cold audience. This is to people that don't know us. We could actually do it to people that already know us, who haven't bought from us. But let's just stick with going out to a cold audience, people that don't know you, and we push an ad to them and we drive them to this web page. Now this web page obviously has to have a video. This has to have a video because it's 2021 and video is what we do in 2021, right? This long form written thing, that's so 2019 or something. So we do video, right? And so basically what happens is we drive this cold ad. So we build an interest-based audience of people that we think are interested in our products or services or a message. And when they click the Learn More button, they come to this page and it's got a video. Now this is basically the teaser video and this is the long form video. So this one, the video here has only really got one goal: to give them enough information to click Learn More, which could be a 15 second, could be a 30 second, could be a 3 minute, could be a 5 minute, like whatever you need to do to get them to click Learn More to come here. Then there's a video that's longer form. So far we're filming two videos for homework. And then of course what happens is we put this thing called the Facebook Pixel on the website. So I know for some of you that will be like yawn, boring, we know what that is. And for some of you, you're not quite there. So basically, let me just talk into the Facebook Pixel for 1 minute. So Facebook give you a piece of code that's called the Facebook Pixel. It's inside your ads manager. And you're able to copy and paste the code. It's gobbledygook, it doesn't mean anything. But you send it off to your web developer and your web developer embeds that bit of code all the way through your website, which means it's on this page because it's on every page of your website. And so what we're able to do is once the Facebook Pixel is installed on this page and every other page of the website, it starts to build an audience. And it builds an audience of everybody's IP address that comes to the website. So just I'll give you enough information to be dangerous. The person that sees your ad on their phone, that phone has an IP address. It could be 181.63, right, whatever. So what happens is that IP address comes to your website and the pixel then goes, aha, I'm going to see if that IP address relates to anybody that has a Facebook account. And about 60 to 70% of the time, it does. So once it recognizes that IP address, it puts them in that audience. So that audience is getting bigger all of the time as long as people are leaving Facebook and coming to your website. Okay? So step 1 is we run a cold traffic ad to an audience that don't know us with a bit of information or a cheat sheet or a call to action coming to our website. Once they hit the website, we pixel them and then we go to stage 3, which is remarketing. So now, next time they open Facebook, there is another ad with a call to action, okay? So basic strategy. One Facebook ad is cold. People are scrolling through their phones or their devices, laptops, iPads, whatever, and they see your ad and they go, that intrigues me, I'm coming to the website. Once they come here, we pixel them, and then we can remarket to them with a different ad, a different offer, a different call to action, whatever we want to do. That right there is gold. Like even just that most basic is absolutely gold. And really not difficult to set up once you've done it 3 times, right? Maybe it's a little bit difficult the first time. By the way, this, like how to build out all of this stuff, if you were to just go to YouTube and type in, building Facebook ads or Facebook remarketing ads and find any video that's less than 60 days old, it'll be relevant. Anything 90 days and over, it's probably an old interface and it won't be right. But find something new and you'll be able to get there. Right, so I kind of want to layer a little bit more complexity on top of this. So we do a cold traffic ad from Facebook to our website. When they come onto here, we have the video, right? And before you might have just had a phone number, but we add a web form. And this web form is basically grabbing their first name, last name, email, always confirm email because people type it wrong, and then you can ask for a phone number if you want to. So the thing about asking for a phone number is you'll get way less people fill it in, but you'll get more quality people fill it in. So that's the trade-off. Like, some people need a phone number because they can't do sales without it. So if you need a phone number, that's fine. Just understand you'll get a lot less people fill it in. If you don't need a phone number and you can do your follow-up sales through email, then leave it off and you'll get a bigger list. So then what happens is you've got to have your bulk email platform attached. So something like MailChimp, something like ActiveCampaign, MailerLite, Ontraport, those kind of products where you write the email once and it sends it out to everybody on the database, right? You've got to have those set up. So basically what happens is you take, those companies give you a form and you embed the form on the website. So as soon as somebody fills this in, it goes to your email platform, MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, whatever you use, and it triggers what we call an automation. And an automation is essentially a pre-built series of emails. So let's put some actual practical in here. Let's say this is giving away a 7-step PDF, right? I'm just picking something random. But let's say you've got some really good bit of education, value, whatever that you want to make available to people for free. So you put a cold ad out and you get their attention. People that were intrigued by this come to the webpage and then they decide whether they want it. If they decide they want it, they give you their first name, last name, email, confirm email. It triggers an automation inside ActiveCampaign, MailChimp, whatever you use. And so they instantly get an email that says, hey, thanks for downloading the 7 steps to whatever it is, right? Here is your PDF. But then what we do is we actually build out an automation beyond that. So then we go, right, 1 hour later, send them this email. 1 day later, send them this email. 2 days after that, send them this email. 3 days after that, send them this email. And they're all pre-written inside a system so that every time somebody comes from here and goes to here and fills in the form, it triggers the automation. They get email number 1, an hour later, email number 2, 24 hours later, email number 3. Doesn't matter when they start this journey, they just go through that automation, okay? So you can imagine the power of this if you were to do both of these. They see you on Facebook, they come to the website, they're intrigued by what you do, they fill in your form, and they get a 7-day automation. Plus they get a remarketing campaign on Facebook. So now they're seeing you in their inbox and they're seeing you every time they open Facebook, and now they can't escape you. Just to give you some maths on this, for every $1 that you spend here on the cold ad, you only have to spend 10 cents on the remarketing ad. Because remember, that ad you're only paying for that ad to go to the handful of people that responded to that ad. So if 1,000 people see this ad, you pay for the 1,000 people that saw it here. But if only 100 people come over here, then this audience is so much smaller that you only end up paying 10% of that budget to do the remarketing, right? So this is like the best deal ever because it costs you hardly any money and it's going to an audience that really like what you had to say. So the maths work incredibly well. So they see you here, they come here, they get marketed to on Facebook, and they go through an automation. And here's why this is important. If you wanted to build brand, then what better way than to put your brand in front of them in email and Facebook over the next 14 days, right? That like Apple can't do that. When you drive past a massive billboard at an airport, once you pass the billboard, that billboard's done, right? It's over. Until you drive back through that airport at some point in the future, that billboard's finished. It's a one-off transaction. This stuff can walk with you and haunt you through Facebook and your email, right? So from a branding perspective, it's excellent. From a leads perspective, now you can imagine if you're a service-based business and and you're putting out content about your service-based business. A video to download, a video series, a webinar you just held, a cheat sheet, a worksheet, whatever, right? Some value. And then they come over here and then they fill it in and then they get remarketed to with more videos. But here's what happens. You're sitting there on the 27th of December and you're in another food coma because you've eaten far too much turkey and a little bit too much of that cranberry sauce, because we all know how that works. But on the 27th of December, somebody else was sitting there in a food coma, right, in the next suburb over, looking for your products and services, or they just happened to be engaged by your post. And they were like, yeah, I might talk to that company early next year, but I'll just fire off my inquiry now because I'm sitting here now and I've got time now and it's on my mind now, so I'll just fire it off, right? So what happens is on the 27th, when they fill in the form, they get an email. They also get another one on the 27th, they get one on the 28th, right? They get one on the 31st, they get one on the 3rd, and one on the 5th of January. Well, guess what? You're ringing them on January 6th. So you've been able to take this lead who at their time reached out to you and keep them warm all the way through to when you come back, and the first morning of the first day that you're back in the office, you're reaching out to all these people. If you've got their phone number, you call them. If you've got their email, you just send them a personal email from your Gmail saying, hey, you inquired back on this date. Hey, I'd love to, what's your phone number? I want to call you, or book, here's my calendar, or whatever you want to do, right? You just target them. So you come back to this big old bucket of leads that you can start to market to, right? So it doesn't matter if you're going for branding, whether you're going for leads, and of course, if you're going for sales, it's really, really simple. Drive traffic to the page that they're going to buy from, remarket to them if they didn't buy, and put them in your community if they did buy, right? Same model. Doesn't matter whether you're building brand, building leads, or building sales. It is the same basic model. Now let me layer one more piece of complexity over the top of this because we can. Imagine if we had one A and one B, and one B was to run Google ads, right? Which, by the way, you should do because they're the best business you can get anywhere in the world, right? And we also ran Google ads to this page. So now, this is two separate scenarios. We've put a Facebook ad into people's newsfeed, Facebook, Instagram, into their newsfeed, and we've got their attention because they're sitting around in a food coma. Separate to that, there are people that are searching for your products and services. They're searching right now. Now, some of you, I know what happens in your mind. You're like, yeah, but no one's searching over Christmas. Well, then you won't pay. So if your theory's right, it won't cost you any money because there's no clicks. But actually what happens is it's exactly when some people start searching for all the things they didn't get through last year so that they can do them next year, right? There's a heap of search volume that takes place at that time of the year. So you drive a Google ad. Now imagine this, you drive them from a Google ad to your website. You can still remarket to them on Facebook. That's amazing to go from one platform to another. So now you can be in their world for 60 days. Or they fill in this form and now they're part of your email list. So we can drive two lots of traffic to the same page, fill in a form, right? Maybe you've got a phone number up there that just basically leaves a voicemail that says, hey, we're not in, we're back on the 5th. But if you go to this URL, you can download a free PDF, and then they still go through your automation, right? Lots and lots and lots of different ideas. So 1A, 1B, add to a landing page, pixel them, remarket to them over here, and into your automation. For you to be able to build that from scratch, you need one more web page, one Facebook ad, one Google ad, one remarketing ad, and an automation set up in your email system. So that's a bit of work. But imagine coming back to 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 leads, depending on how much you throw at this and how well it works, ready for January. I mean, this is how you can just know. Because we run them all the way through Christmas, and I get these little emails that somebody's joined the automation. Someone's joined the automation. It just makes me happier, right? But then when somebody says, hey, let's go down to the Boxing Day sales, I'm more inclined to go because I know that January, there's going to be heaps of this cash stuff laying around because a heap of leads coming in, right? Because I hear the ding, and then it makes me smile. So it gives you that peace of mind. So interestingly, one of the things that happens for business owners is they think, no one wants to see my stuff over Christmas. Nothing could be further from the truth. Nothing could be further from the truth. It is exactly the time when people sit staring at their phone, processing too much food, Their blood sugar level goes through the floor and they sit there with their lizard brain and start scrolling. And you need to be there. This is your moment to shine. There's a couple of, so not only is viewership up, but actually some of your competitors that don't get this will stop their advertising. And so you get the space for cheaper. There's plenty of reasons why you'd be doing this, right? But it's going to require you to shoot some videos and get a little bit uncomfortable and test a few different messages. And given the time of year, you know, like in our private clients, I've been telling them for 4 weeks, right, get your videos, get your production, cameras, microphone, messaging, start shooting. We're probably getting to the point of the month now where, you know, you probably can't bring in a production team to film because there's probably not enough time. So you should still do it, but it just might have to be smartphone and AirPods instead of production level lights, camera, editing. You should get to production level. That's where the market's going for video. But I think for this, you could get away with good lighting and good sound, but it doesn't have to be perfect. You know, as long as you have good lighting and good sound, you can get away with an image that's not 100% amazing. So you could probably get away with, you know, a smartphone on a $9 gripper tripod and some AirPods or some earphones or something, right? To be able to do this, and it would still be a whole lot better than not doing this model over Christmas. So for me, it's all about setting this up. Now, here's the beautiful thing: if you do all of this once, then next year you can just do it all again and drop in different things, right? Change the offer, duplicate the landing page. You've learned how to build an automation, do it again. You've learned how to build remarketing, do it again. Like, once you have this knowledge, it's the effort to repeat it is like 15% of the effort to do it first time. So there's no other reason. I'm trying to build reasons why you should just go ahead and do it, and I think I've covered enough that you should just go ahead and do it. But this is what the best businesses do. The best businesses don't become the best by accident. They become the best by action. And so you have got this extra little task that you need to do between now and Christmas. And by the way, if you're like, I don't have the time, great, just outsource the whole thing. You shoot the video, you send it to somebody, get them to build it all out, right? It's you know, there are some people that this is how they think, right? They couldn't do what you do, but they know how to build this stuff out. So, you know, business is about finding the best people for the job and getting out of your way to let them be brilliant. And so you need to find people that can do this. And that might be your 16-year-old son or daughter who just understands it, or it might be an outsourced company or a VA, whatever you need to do, but you've just got to get it done, okay? Because that's the model. And I can just imagine what would happen to your business in January and your mindset over Christmas if you had this automation running and you know you were coming back to sales leads or bigger brand. It would make next year better. And so it's a bit of work up front, but it's better over time.
Well, hey, if you enjoyed that episode, would you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button below and hit the bell icon so that you get the alerts of all of the future episodes? It would mean the world to me if you would do that right now.